Today seems like a great day to dive in. So let's do that. Why do we ask people we know aren't where we are for advice on where we currently are and where they have yet to get to? I know that was a lot, but why do we do that? Why do we ask people for advice on where we are right now in our life when we can clearly see that they're not there yet? And that's okay, because everybody's journey is different. Everybody's road to where they're trying to go is led by God, and only He knows what that other person or what you are dealing with. So why do we do that? Why do we ask somebody who's not God for advice on something that's God-led? They don't know more than Him. And of course, He wants you to get advice. He wants you to be able to talk to people and conversate with them and be able to acknowledge where you are at that moment, and what you can take with you and what you can leave behind, because every part of somebody's advice you don't have to take with you. It could just be something that you kind of needed to see in order to make your decision, if that makes sense. Sometimes we get advice from people and we realize what we don't need to do, or what we should have already done, or what we don't need to agree with, or what we don't need to follow. It's kind of something like that. So recently I was asking a couple people advice, on something that I just started, and I kind of wanted to know what people think about it. And I have to quit doing this because a long time ago, I used to have a friend who used to say, and I think I've said this in another podcast, but I would say, well, what do you think? And they would say, no, what do you think? Do you like it? How does it make you feel? Because we could be so stuck on what other people think and their opinions, but it's not theirs. It doesn't belong to them. It belongs to you. How do you feel based off where you are in your life? How does that make you feel? Where are you at with it? Because if you don't know how you feel, and then you in turn ask somebody how they feel based off where they are in their life, what if those don't align? And that's exactly what happened. And it's no shade to the people I asked, because I asked somebody an opinion about something when I know that they're not where I am in my journey with God as of at this moment. And again, that's okay. But why did I think that asking them when they're not where I am was going to give me an answer that I wanted? It's just goofy. So honestly, in turn, I'm excited about it. Asking them, their advice. What do you think? And their answers weren't horrible answers. They gave advice based off where they are in life. But where they are in life isn't where I am. So if I'm being honest, it made me feel some type of way, like what I was doing, something that I had talked to God about, something that me and God were here with, like we're right here, something that I prayed about, I researched, I did all this stuff that I was excited about. And I got so discouraged because maybe it's not doing what I thought it was supposed to be doing. If they're saying this, then maybe it's the wrong market. Maybe I shouldn't be doing it the way that I'm doing. Maybe I should change some stuff up. But the more I sit and think about it, and I honestly took some of the advice and tried to change some stuff up. And when I tell y'all things that I'm trying to let go, anxiety, all that, just it put a toll on my body, because here I am trying to hop into something that I already jumped out of. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't nothing bad, but that's not what I went into it for. So I'm asking people who aren't where I am for advice on something that they don't understand at this moment. And it's not to say that they'll never understand it, or it's not to say that they'll never get there. They're just not there yet. So I said that to say this. Stop expecting people. You know how they always say, stop expecting you out of people. Stop expecting the same thing when it comes to advice. Stop expecting to ask Satan, hey, Satan, what you think? I'm not calling them Satan. But anything that goes against what God is telling you, if it has something to do with anything worldly, so there's God and then there's the world. If you ask the world anything, it's going to go against what God said. God has a whole nother plan for our lives. So when you ask Satan, hey, what do you think? What do you think he's going to say? What advice do you think he's going to give you? It's always going to go against what you're excited about, what you've talked to God about. I mean, Satan is intimidated by you. He's intimidated by anybody who's trying to get closer to God, who's realizing who they are in Christ, who's realizing who they are in comparison to what they thought that they were and how God made them. Come on. He gonna stay coming for you. But it's up to you to acknowledge that I had to check myself, y'all. I had to check myself and say, snap out of it. You're not excited about this anymore. You're not thinking about this and thinking about that. You're stressed. I was stressed. And honestly, I still am a little stressed because now I'm trying to get back on track when I was already on the right track. And because I asked a question, it derailed me a little bit, if I'm being honest. But it was all by my doing because I knew better. So sometimes we know better, but because we want the acceptance, we want people to understand, we want people to agree with something they don't need to agree with to begin with. They don't need to agree. How do you feel? What do you think? If we keep conforming to what the world wants, if we keep doing what the world needs from us, if we keep showing up in that way, who is going to be left to show up for God in his way? Everything doesn't have to be about the world. And whatever is meant to be, I had to tell myself this, whatever is meant to be based off what I'm doing is what it's going to be. It's going to be that. I didn't start it for it to be something of the world. I started it to be something of his world in order to get his word out, in order for people to understand who he is. I am becoming her. I'm becoming her in every aspect of my life, in my mind, in my soul, in my body. I am becoming her from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet because God said that I am beautifully and wonderfully made. And how dare you question that? How dare you? He said what he said and he meant it. Stop acting like you need the advice of others. It doesn't matter who it is. Family, friends, co-workers, church people. It doesn't matter who it is. Stop acting like you need their say-so. Stop acting like you need their advice. You need them to tell you what to do. You do not. You need to get on your knees. And if you don't want to get on your knees, everybody pray different. You can sit in your car. You can go outside and take a walk. You just need to find time to spend time with God and see what he says about it. And then once he answered you, that's the answer. When you get confused again, ask him again. And you know the crazy thing about God is he'll send the right people with the right advice right to you. You don't have to go out searching for it. It's not going to stress you out. It's not going to make you rethink everything that came into play if it's of God. So let me be clear. If it's ordained by him and it's something that he's behind all in, it's not going to make you feel confusion and worry and anxiety it's not going to make you feel like that. But if it's not of him and then you get different people coming in doing this and doing that, and those aren't bad people. Their advice is not bad advice. It's just not the right advice for where you are in your life. And that's okay. But let me get y'all Bible real quick. So Leviticus 18, starting at verse 1, it said, "The Lord said to Moses, speak to the Israelites and say to them, I am the Lord your God. You must not do as they do in Egypt, where you used to live, and you must not do as they do in the land of Canaan, where I am bringing you. Do not follow their practices. You must obey my laws and be careful to follow my decrees. I am the Lord your God. Keep my decrees and laws, for the person who obeys them will live by them. I am the Lord." Don't live like you used to live back in the day. That's not you no more. That's not where you are in life. I brought you this far. And don't live like they live where I'm taking you to. When you get successful, when you get the money you want, when you get around the people and the influence, don't live like them either. Because that's not what I have in store for you. That's not what I have placed on you. What I have for you is so much bigger. It's so much better. All you got to do is follow my lead. Follow my lead. Not your own lead, my lead. When I tell you to do something, Do it. If you have questions, ask. If you need people to help, ask me and I'll bring them to you. One thing about God is he will never leave us nor forsake us. And we forget that all the time. We feel like we need people of the world to tell us what to do and how to do it, when we're in reality, all we need to do is take time. Make time. Stop saying you ain't got 5 minutes. Yeah, you do. I don't care if it's while you brushing your teeth. Stop saying you ain't got it. Stop saying you ain't got 5 minutes. Yes, you do. I don't care if you're cooking. All these things you do every day. You put on your socks. You put on your pants. Talk to him. Confide in him. Question him. Ask him. He knows you. These are the questions that God doesn't mind answering. And the crazy part is you can be like, well, every time I come to God, God knows you. You know what he expects from you, though, and he knows. Move forward in a way that makes sense for you. Stop asking advice of people who aren't where you are in your life, because it's not going to do nothing but rattle your cages, and it's going to do exactly what the devil set out to do. It's going to stop you from taking that next step, because he wants you to stumble and fall. Remember what he did in the Garden of Eden? Did God really say, yeah? He really said. God really said, do what he's telling you to do. It keep popping up in different things, popping up in different ways, showing you that you need to be doing this, but you keep being afraid. You keep questioning it. Did God really say? Yes, he really said it. And he'll say it again and again and again and again. All you have to do is pick up your feet and move. And when I'm talking about this stuff, y'all, like I said, this is something that happened to me that put me in a mood, and I had to snap out of it, because what did God say about me? What did he say? It's okay to get discouraged. It's okay if things aren't looking up the way that they're supposed to look up. But when it does happen the way it's supposed to happen, he wants you to know and wants you to have no question who was behind it. Not the people of this world, but of his world. By God. By his Holy Spirit. He is the reason and has always been. Trust that. Trust within your heart that it's him. Trust in what he's telling you to do, and you will be who he called you to be if you allow him to lead you. I love y'all. I really do. And thank you for taking the time out every week to dive in with me. It's needed. And I know a lot of the times we be wanting, people to understand where we are in life. I want this to be a safe place where we can all come together and know that you're not alone, that you're not struggling by yourself, that you don't feel like that alone, But I hope y'all enjoy these, and thank you for coming back every week. And if you don't come back every week, start coming back every week. Either way, I love you. Be back.